Welcome to the Allison Howard podcast, where high-achieving women elevate their identity, expand what's possible, and create a life of true abundance. I'm Allison Howard. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I see all the time, and honestly, something that I have lived through myself more times than I can count. And that is how to start before you feel ready and break past the fear that's holding you back. So many times people wait to do whatever it is until they feel ready, feeling like you need more clarity or more confidence or more credentials or more time before you actually start the thing. And here's the truth that I have learned through every business I've ever built, every reinvention I've ever lived, and every woman who I've ever coached. And it's that readiness is not something you feel. It's something that you create by moving, getting into momentum. So today I want to show you how to start, even when you don't feel ready, and how to break past the internal resistance that keeps so many women stuck at the starting line. Okay, so here's kind of part one of this, right? Why you don't feel ready and why that's actually very normal. So one of the biggest misconceptions that we have is that confident people feel ready before they move. That is absolutely untrue. They don't. What's actually happening when you don't feel ready is this. Your nervous system is protecting you from the unknown. Your brain is wired for safety, not expansion. Your brain's job is to literally keep you safe, and I'm so grateful for that. But when we're starting something new and we're feeling unsafe, it's very normal for that part of you that wants predictability to keep you safe. So if you're waiting to feel ready, what you're really waiting for is certainty. And certainty never comes before action. Something that somebody once told me, it was a really great piece of advice, is you have to act how you want to feel until you start to feel how you're acting. So a lot of times, action is what gets us into momentum, and it precedes those feelings of confidence. You start to feel confident as you're doing it. Think about going to the gym. I remember the first time I walked into the gym ever in my life, I was super intimidated. I went alone and I saw big machines and muscles everywhere. And I thought, oh my gosh, this feels like way too much. I don't think I can do it. And I turned around, I started to leave. And a personal trainer actually stopped me as I was going out the door. And she said, hey, how about I help you for the first couple months so that I can teach you the machines and some things to do? And I was like, okay, that feels good. And now I can go into any gym in any place in the world, and I feel completely confident in how to use the machines and what to do because I took those steps of action before I actually felt ready. And I had help, which I think is really important. So you don't feel ready because you're about to grow. You don't feel ready because you're about to expand. It's something in the unknown, but that is what growth is. It's uncomfortable, okay? Second thing, this is all about the identity gap, okay? So what I've learned is that hesitation usually comes from an identity gap. There's who you are right now and who you know you're meant to become. And the gap between those 2 points can often feel, and I would even dare say always feel, very uncomfortable. And most people interpret discomfort as a sign to stop, just like I was talking about before, right? But it's not. It is an invitation. The discomfort is the invitation to move into the period of growth. The obstacle is always the way. So if you're feeling that tension, if you're feeling that obstacle, you're usually on the right path. The version of you who already has the results that you want didn't feel ready either. She just decided to move anyway. So think back to times in your life, maybe when you decided to go to college, or maybe when you took that promotion that you didn't know if you were ready for, or maybe when you took a leap of faith in that relationship. There is a version of you who already has had results when you didn't feel ready either. Use that for evidence. A lot of times we think that we have to see it before we believe it. And so we stay stuck in this comfort zone because we don't see external results that validate internal shifts or desires. The opposite is true though. Believe it, and then you'll see it. Believe that you're confident. Believe that you are capable. Believe that you are called and chosen. And take the steps that version of you would take, and you're going to see the external results. Okay? So fear is not a sign that you're off path. It's actually a sign that you're standing right at the edge of expansion. And it's so exciting, especially as we're closing out this year and we're starting this new year. What are those big, scary, exciting moves that you're wanting to make that you haven't because you just haven't felt ready? This is the time. Okay, so here's kind of a part 3 to all of this, right? And this is the business truth. A lot of people who listen to me, who listen to this podcast, who follow me on Instagram, watch me on YouTube, they are entrepreneurs. And so I want to give you the business truth that no one really talks about. So from a business perspective, I just want to be really, really honest with you. You do not build confidence before you start. I did not start my first business as a confident luxury wedding planner who is doing, $1 million weddings and celebrity weddings. No, I didn't. I could see it that far. I dreamt it that far, but that's not where I started. So you don't build confidence before you start. You build confidence because you start. Every action that you take when you're not feeling confident about it, every time you push through that resistance, you become more confident. You become more self-assured. Just like even starting this podcast. I had been thinking about starting this podcast and restarting YouTube for a long time. And I decided to just get into action. It's not perfect. I'm doing it messy. I'm doing it with a little bit of discomfort. And that's okay because I'm getting better and better each time. Every business that I've built, so I mentioned the wedding planning business, my health coaching business that I had years ago, working in high ticket sales, now coaching mindset and business. I started before I had it all figured out. And I've gotten better and better and better each time as years go by, every iteration. So clarity came after action. Confidence came after the repetition of doing these things over and over again. So like this podcast and YouTube, for example, like I said, I started it a little bit discomfort, but I have spoken to thousands of people on stage. I have done YouTube before. I have a lot of public speaking experience. I've been on social media for, so many years, over a decade. I talk in my stories. So this doesn't feel super out of my comfort zone like it did when I first started years ago doing YouTube to build business for the first time, because confidence comes after repetition. Certainty comes after evidence. So that's kind of the pattern that I want to encourage you to follow. And I'll say it again. Clarity in what you're doing is going to come after you take action. Nothing's going to happen if you don't take action. And then confidence will build after you repeat that action over and over again, after you're putting those reps in. And then certainty will come after evidence. So not waiting until you feel ready is actually one of the most expansive habits that you can have as an entrepreneur. You want to take action before you feel ready. And the momentum is what's going to create the clarity, not the other way around. You're not going to all of a sudden magically become clear one day and think, okay, I'm going to get into momentum. No, your momentum is what will create the clarity along the way. Okay, here's a little part 4 of all of this. This is the real reason women stay stuck. And most women don't stay stuck because they're incapable. 95% of women are overqualified to be doing what they're doing. They stay stuck because they're afraid of being seen, of being judged, of failing publicly, and of outgrowing their current life. We don't want to rock the boat, right? Underneath all of that, all of those things is one big fear. And it's, what if I start and I can't sustain it? So you don't have to know how this whole thing is going to work out. I just want to encourage you. If you're feeling the desire and the call, if you're feeling the prompting in your heart to elevate in your life, you don't have to know how everything's going to work out. In fact, you can't. You just need to be willing to become the woman who figures things out along the way. You're not behind in any way. You're just at the beginning. And it's okay to be at the beginning. It's okay to take messy action. Messy action is better than perfect inaction every single day. So how do I personally break past not feeling ready? I'll share with you that when I don't feel ready, I do 3 things every single time to get myself into this place of readiness. When I'm feeling afraid, when I'm feeling paralyzed by fear, these are the things that I do to steady myself so that I can push past the fear. Number 1, I decide for my identity. What would the version of me who already trusts myself in this area, what would she do? The second thing I do is I take the smallest aligned action. You don't have to do the entire thing, right? Do a small baby step, one post, one conversation, one decision, just one. And then I refuse to negotiate with fear. I don't wait for fear to leave. I just move with it. I don't negotiate with it. Okay, when you're gone, I'll do this. And then when I feel this way, I'm going to do that. No, I just say, okay, I'm feeling this way. I get curious about it. I observe it without judgment and I just move. And action is what repels fear so quickly. Something else that I do when I'm feeling a little bit fearful, when I want to move out of a fear state and into a empowered state, there are 2 primary emotions, right? There's fear and there's love. Everything, all of our other sub-emotions come from those 2 core emotions. So when I'm in fear, I just move into love. Well, what would I love instead? What would I love in this situation? What would I love the outcome to be? And then I move into this state of faith and hope and belief. That's how I'm moving with it. I'm not negotiating with it. So courage isn't the absence of fear. It's not. It's leadership in the presence of it, because fear accompanies a lot of decisions. I mean, it just happens. So, right? Courage is not the absence of fear. It's just leadership in the presence of it. So if you are waiting to make that move, I want to just say this is your permission. If you're listening to this and you've been waiting, maybe waiting to launch that thing or waiting to post or waiting to raise your prices, waiting to say yes to yourself, then let this be your permission slip. You don't need more preparation. I promise you, you do not need more preparation. You need self-trust. Just trust your gut, trust your instinct, trust your intuition, and start going. Like I said before, messy action is better than perfect inaction every single day. So get messy. The woman that you're becoming is built through action, not perfection. So here are 3 takeaways for you, just so you're very clear and this feels very anchored. Number 1, I want to remind you that the reason you don't feel ready is because growth feels unfamiliar, and that's okay. It's not because you're unqualified. So know the difference between those 2. Takeaway number 2, confidence is built through movement, not thinking. You can't overthink. You have to just get into that action. And number 3, starting imperfectly is how identity catches up to desire. So if you're ready to stop waiting and to start becoming the person that you know that you're meant to be, I would love to support you. If you're on Instagram, you can DM me Activate. I will know exactly what you mean. I'm going to send you details for my 12-week coaching experience. It's called the Abundance Activation. And this is where we really work on identity and mindset and leadership and then aligned action. And I would love to partner with you in this. Okay, so before I let you go, I want to remind you to go and be the woman that your future is waiting on. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure to share this with a friend who would love this encouragement as well. Don't forget to do all the supportive things. If you found value in this, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, ask a question, and most of all, connect. I love connecting with people who are finding value in what it is that I'm sharing. So anyways, take care and be blessed.